We made this.
Welcome to the Right in the Childhood podcast on the We Made This network with your hosts Fraser and Mark. I'm Fraser.
And I'm Mark, hello.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm alright. Well, I'm quite excited because we're celebrating our 1 year anniversary of Right in the Childhood.
We've got the balloons out, we've been blowing them up. We've got the pipe poppers. We've got a cricket bat as well, apparently, because that was more of a cricket bat sound than a pipe popper.
It is all expenses spared with our budget.
Spared no expense.
We've spared no money.
Exactly.
No, our budget of none.
Yeah, exactly. Just me making funny noises.
Party!
Party! We couldn't even get a Mikey to come out and say party, could we?
No.
Well, I'm occasionally a Mikey.
You
party!
Are. Do you work at Nickelodeon, Fraser?
No, it's a vicious rumour. Vicious rumour. But yeah, on this podcast, I'm on the Generation Z side, you're on the Generation X side, and we revisit childhood classics, whether that be a TV show, a movie, a trend.
It's
celebrity.
Telly, unless we do like a cheeky little bonus.
Yeah, well, most of the time it's telly, but you know, we're open to spice things up with a cheeky special, or just, you know, if we just keep this going until we're like 75 and you're
90, if you're 75.
A bit older than 75.
Fuck.
Try and be nice. But we can just keep going. Or if, like, you know, I don't think we'll run out of TV shows. Like,
no, I've still got
a huge
like
list, yeah.
30.
But it's always nice to, like, if there's a movie coming out, to be like, oh, this seems like it could be on point or not. And there is potential that this show that we're going to watch today, from my childhood, that's why I've done the introduction, is gonna be either perfectly on brand or completely off. So when we first talked about this, we were going to do Lizzie McGuire's the second episode or something.
Yeah.
And then I got my Disney thing sorted and I was like,
yeah, you promised it as the second episode.
No, you sort of like, oh, what are we going to do next time? I was like, I'll be honest, I don't know, but I just remember Lizzie McGuire off the top of my head. And then I actually got organised.
You did, and I'm glad you did, because it was a fun little thing.
Exactly.
But we did promise it for a second episode, and we didn't do it.
Yeah,
and it's taken a year.
I feel like, has anyone complained?
No.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I think it's nice that we're looking at it now.
Maybe it was me from the future now going, oh yeah, we're going to do it next time, and I just jumped in and knocked out, like, current me from a year ago.
If it was you from the future, you could have warned me about a lot of shit that went down in the last year.
No, won't worth. I was like, it's already terrible. Well, when we started the podcast, it was already sort of terrible.
True.
So we're like, just going to get worse. It's not worth.
Not worth the warning.
It's not worth getting into, mate. It'll be all right for a bit, or you'll think it's all right for a bit, or you're like, is this all right? Am I okay with this? And then you'll be like, no, this is not. But hey-ho, things are on the up and up. But timing for this podcast. So when we first talked about doing Lizzie McGuire, there was going to be a Lizzie McGuire like reboot. That has since not panned out very well, and it just hasn't happened, which is unfortunate. It might come back, who knows? But I think the Ravens Home sort of thing, it wasn't as popular as they thought, and maybe they just didn't go for it.
Did Ravens Home not do well then?
No, I think it's difficult to find its audience because, like, people like me who watch Raven, like, you know, That's So Raven, probably aren't going to watch it as keenly as they're going to watch, like, a Mandalorian or something like that.
True.
And, like, new audiences like, oh, maybe we don't know it. But there was also, like, there was some creative things with the Lizzie McGuire stuff. Like, they wanted it to be a bit more aimed at the older audiences, and, like, Disney weren't too sure. Then it was like, is it going to go to Hulu? Is it going to go to Disney Plus?
Right.
So I think things just fizzled out. But what hasn't fizzled out, or maybe it has by now, is a How I Met Your Father little spin-off with Hilary Duff in.
What? So is it How I Met Your Mother?
It's a spin-off of How I Met Your Mother, but How I Met Your Father.
Right.
And Hilary Duff, who plays Lizzie McGuire, is been cast as like one of the leads, if not the lead of the show.
Well, was she the mother in How I Met Your Mother?
No, she wasn't. No, that was Kristen Toro.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in a very good film called Spring Breakers. It does the like, you know, repeat every day.
Right, Groundhog Day type shit.
Day, but very good, like with Andy Samberg. It's a good film, highly recommend. But yeah, so I'm not sure if she's going to be like a friend of like the mother, or whether it's going to be something like she just tells a story about how she met the father, but it just so happens to be in the same universe as How I Met Your Mother.
Right, okay.
It's not. But it's interesting, and that's going to be on Hulu, so we'll probably get on Disney Star, which is very exciting. And, you know, hopefully it might come out when this comes out, and it'll be a nice little...
So before you tell me any more, do you want my pitch? Because, funnily enough, I hadn't even heard of Lizzie McGuire until, about a year ago.
Yeah.
And I've done no research since, because I'm not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel...
It's got a banging theme song.
So, it's by Disney, is it?
Figure it out.
Is it by Disney?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be along the lines of Hannah Montana and That's So Raven and...
In the way that it's a sitcom, but not in the way like... When you say
Well, there you go, you've given me a big clue. I was
did you
saying...
think it was going to be like animated?
Well, I don't know. No, it's definitely a sitcom, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just... Maybe it's a bit kind of Boy Meets World in as much as there's a main character and then there's like a nice cast of supporting characters and they have nice times, but Lizzie McGuire is the lead character. Is it something like that?
So it's in the era of That's So Raven and Boy Meets World. It's definitely more Boy Meets World, as in like it's just your classic sitcom with a female lead. But what I do like about this is sort of it's semi-predicted the future in a way. So Lizzie has like quite a cool and like imagination, which a lot of, you know, lead characters do.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times we'll see a fantasy scene, which is what Lizzie pictures in her head happens, but doesn't actually. She's also got like a little animated sidekick, which is a bit like a bit emoji before bit emojis were a thing. So it's a mini animated Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, so it's like Roger Rabbit type situation.
Well, in a way that they mix animation and thingy. Animation.
Is it like an imaginary friend or something?
No, it's literally just like it's what's going on in her brain, sort of reacting. So like if she's tired or beat up, she'll be tired, and so will her animated thing, or her animated thing will be like.
Does she interact with it?
Things. No.
So okay, that's a nice little gimmick.
Again, it's part of like her brain, and it's one of the things
I like that.
I remember about most from the show. It's like, oh, it's so cool that they've done a bit of both, and like because. Like we were saying with Disney sitcoms, they always tried to add like a unique twist to what this one was.
Yeah.
Like Boy Meets World and stuff like that. That was like, okay, this is our staple ones. Lizzie McGuire, they did this little like sort of, you know, we'll mix a bit animation in there. That's a Raven, it was the psychic thing. And then later on we'll get like Wizards of Waverly Place where they'll do like, oh, we've got wizards now, or
yeah,
stuff
and
like that.
Even like
Teen Angel as well. Like Disney did Teen Angel, which was cool.
Teen Angel was a remake, if you didn't know that. That was very much a Generation X show rather than a Xennial, which is what I technically fall into. And I've caught the repeats of that, but that was made in the early 70s, the original Teen Angel show.
Yeah. Was it the same premise as the reboot then, I guess?
No idea, I haven't seen the reboot.
So the premise of the reboot was this guy, one of the teenagers, had a mate who died and he became his like guardian angel.
Exactly that. That was exactly that.
Thing. But yeah. But it's cool that like, you know, Disney would like, they're like, okay, we know this one works, let's reboot this, and then they went for more gimmicks. I will say that's probably the biggest gimmick is that animated thing. What I do remember about this is the freeway conversations between Gordo, Lizzie, and I'm forgetting the female character's name and I feel really bad.
That's okay. This is about memories beforehand and then kind of like firming them up afterwards. Like, it's okay to forget shit. I forget shit all the time.
They did like the group chat before it was the group chat, and just that.
Well, like a WhatsApp chat.
Yeah, but they like on the phone to each other, and I was just like, that's so cute. Like they literally, and they did like the split screen of all three calls. I remember Gordo being like an incredible hacky sacker, and that was the first time I saw hacky sack as like a thing. I
had a hacky sack when I was a kid. I wasn't very good at it. I was better at juggling than hacky sack because with my hands I was all right, but my feet.
That's gone.
You were like football kind of guy, so you'd been good at hacky sack.
So my memories of this are pretty varied. So again, it was one of them where like I'd come home when we had the Disney Channel and like watch it and be like, oh, it's cool, it was part of the programming. But a lot of this was like Saturday morning cartoons, or it was on like ITV or one of them.
Right.
But we also had this weird thing that was like, it was a portable DVD player, but it would like fit in your hands, and it was weird. But you didn't have regular DVDs. There was stuff that was specifically made for this device, and Lizzie McGuire had something for that, the way you put it in.
Like a kid's DVD player that wasn't really a DVD player. What a weird item.
And it was so cool. Like,
have you still got it?
No, but I would look. I mean, it's probably in the house somewhere because, you know, we hoard. But, you know, we found like PS1 stuff and all VHSs. I've got a Lizzie McGuire VHS upstairs as well.
Nice.
That's not what we're using today.
Funnily enough, we're using Disney Plus.
Good old-fashioned Disney Plus. But I really enjoyed this TV show, but it's one of them where I've got no recollection of what actually happened on it. You know, compared to like a Recess or something.
Right.
All I remember is like Lizzie McGuire had a crush on this guy who wasn't so bright. And like one of his like things was like, oh, he's got such cool hair. What does he do? And he goes, you know when they say rinse and repeat? I don't repeat. And that was like his big hair, like advice to someone. I was like,
wow.
And I was like, I'd always use that as my thing. I was like, you know, it says rinse or repeat. I don't repeat. So there's a hair tip for you from me and Lizzie.
Oh, because I really need a hair tip.
Yeah. Maybe that's what you should have done. You shouldn't have repeated and you'd still have full locks of hair. Did you repeat when you washed your hair?
I mean, when I had long hair, I used to take reasonably good care of it. I don't wash my hair with anything other than water now because I haven't got any.
Do you rinse and repeat?
No, I
just rinse.
I just use shower gel and I don't need shampoo.
No. Well, there you go.
This is fascinating conversation. What's your shampoo, Fraser?
It isn't. I like to mix and match. It's usually whatever someone else has bought, and I go, "Oh, I've got that."
For fuck's sake.
No, I do like.
There's no shampoo in my house.
I like the thing of you know, like there was this trend on social media where girls were getting annoyed, where it's like they buy all these like facial creams and all this and stuff like that, and they'll have acne, and then it's boys that buy like a 7-in-1, and they've got like perfectly good skin.
Yeah.
But I'm very much if I can fit it all into one, yes. Like when I'm in America, there's stuff that says like 3-in-1s, and it's got Spider-Man on it. I'm like, that's a bit of me. That is a bit of
you
me.
Would literally buy anything if it had
Honestly,
Spider-Man. Spider-Man enema? Oh, yes, please.
There was one that I had that was like, it had Spider-Man's face on it. It was just chilling in the and it was huge. It was a 3-in-1. It was ideal. Probably not the best for...
Spider-Man chastity belt, that's for you.
What's a chastity belt?
It locks up your penis so people can't touch it.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's just strange and bizarre.
It's a fetish. It's not my fetish, though.
But going past fetishes, the big thing I remember about this was actually the movie that came out, the Lizzie McGuire movie. It's got a banging soundtrack. It's got The Tide Is High.
Good song. Blondie.
What was the one? This Is What Dreams Are Made Of. And the whole thing was, Lizzie McGuire never felt to me like a lot of these Disney shows is like the actors, as well as like we've seen with That's So Raven, can lead a show by themselves. They've got the charisma to lead a show. But they're also incredible singers as well. Like Hilary Duff has had an incredible singing career after this.
I've heard of her. What songs has she done?
I couldn't tell off the top of my head. I just know that she did some songs for Lizzie McGuire, and then she's done some of her own songs. But I don't think that there's nothing like, she wasn't like a Miley Cyrus kind of level. She was just sort of like, she did her own like country things, and like Lizzie McGuire fans sort of went towards her. There was nothing like hugely iconic, but when she got her own movie, that's when it became a singing thing.
Okay.
Which was pretty cool. Because she met like a twin who was a pop star and stuff like that. And then she had to pretend to be that singer. Like there was, you know, lookalike shenanigans and stuff like that, and then romance and thing. But I loved it. They went to Rome. So whenever I think of Rome, I always think of Lizzie McGuire. Which anyone, like, I've talked to people who are like, oh, I'm in Rome or something. And I'd be like, oh, is the tide high? Is it what dreams are made of? And like I'd be like, oh, is it just like, because all the sites as well, she goes on a tour with this guy who takes her all around like Rome and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, is it like Lizzie McGuire? Did you go around here?
Is that the episode we're watching, the Rome?
No, that's the movie.
We're the movie. We're not watching the movie.
Keep up with it, mate. Keep on track. So and another
wow.
Another thing with the movie that sort of develops from the sitcom is the cute little romance between Gordo and Lizzie. So like Gordo's sort of seen at first as like, you know, the best friend sort of thing, but it's the best friend that finally gets the girl. And there's this little adorable thing where like they're on the plane to Rome and they fall asleep onto like each other's shoulders, and I'm like, oh, my heart melts. And it's like I got reminded of it when I watched Far From Home, like when, you know, with MJ and Thingy, there is a proper cute sort of thing then. It's that whole thing of like, sometimes the lead character won't see that their best mate is the love interest or whatever.
Right.
It's like, and it slowly grooves.
Can I ask you something about Gordo?
Yeah.
I know you don't speak Spanish, but Gordo is Spanish for fat. Is the character fat?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I think there's either Spanish or Italian. I think there is some European heritage to his name.
Okay.
But it's not, no, he's not fat. He's got curly hair. It's pretty cool.
No, it definitely means fat. I just looked it up while you were talking.
Pretty cool.
Because I thought it was like, that's a Spanish word, that is.
Yeah,
couldn't remember what it was.
He's not fat.
Okay.
Whether or not the character was originally supposed to be, and someone said like, oh no, let's not do that.
Because that's tasteless.
But, yeah. I think Gordo's a popular name as well. I definitely know a couple of people called Gordo. I think it's bigger in America though.
Maybe.
It's like a bit easier than Gordon, isn't it? Because Gordon's a proper old person.
Well, Gordon the Gopher was a significant part of my childhood. Yeah. Have you heard of him?
I've heard it, possibly, but...
Well, when, you know, Philip Schofield started in kids telly.
I do. Yeah, as soon as you said Philip Schofield, I was like, yeah, it's a puppet for Thingy, Nick. Because we've done that thing and I've done the reference. It's only a puppet.
We have, haven't we?
Yeah, I've
been doing the show a year, Fraser. I'm likely to repeat myself, I think.
Is that what happens with old age?
Rude.
So I tell you what, we're going to get to an episode where I go, oh, I'm going to do tripods because I've not done it. I was like, Mark, that's the first episode. We're like, oh, we already done it.
I won't be doing that.
Or will it get to the point where we'll have to revisit shows we've done just so you can remember?
You're so rude.
The minimum fan loves it though. It's the banter, isn't it?
You're supposed to be my friend and you're being cruel.
That's what friends are about.
Is this what you youngsters call bants?
Bants.
Is that right?
No, I was going to say, if you say youngsters, that's putting you in boomer territory. That's not even Gen X. That is. Is this what you youngsters call bants?
It's almost like I said it ironically, Fraser.
I know, but I just needed to fill in the blanks. In case you forgot.
Are we going to watch some of this Lizzie McGuire that you haven't convinced me is going to be any good?
I mean, I can convince you it's good. I think we'll enjoy the friendships of the three, like the trio. Like the trios always seem to be strong in these kind of shows, like we saw with That's So Raven. And I think as well it's going to have powerful messages about, you know, strong female lead. I think it's going to have some like strong feminist messages as well, hopefully. Depending on which episodes I pick in it as well.
You haven't picked the episodes yet?
No, I'm going to do the whole sort of our best episode pilot.
Right, okay.
Not in that order, because that would just be...
That would confuse me.
That would be irritating.
Yeah.
Here's the best episode, and here's where it begins. Like, who would do that? Who would do that? A dyslexic? Oh, wait.
Yeah, but I'm not dyslexic just because you are. No, Don't confuse me. I like things...
Yeah, we'll put the pilot on.
We will.
And then, probably best episode. Probably go do that.
Right, should we do that?
Yeah, should we go get our animated sidekicks?
What would your animated sidekick be?
Oh, like if I had to pick a character?
Yeah.
Peter Pan.
Of course.
What about yourself? If it had to be like an animated character?
Some cat. It'd be a cat.
Oh, you pick a cat.
It would definitely be a cat.
Like one of those naked cats.
Oh, I like naked cats.
Do you know why I said that?
Why?
Because they're hairless.
For fuck's sake. Let's watch this fucking show 1 year later than we were planning.
I was meaning more like animated, like they're literally just an animated version of us. We've done that. We've had them before.
We have?
We've got them. We'll put that on the social media. We'll show them. They're cute. I like them.
I do.
And they still fit as well. Me watching telly and you reading a book.
Yeah.
Or it's actually probably the most accurate representation of this podcast, because you making notes and me just watching.
Yeah. For people who haven't watched our shit before, it's a logo for something we used to do, but yeah, I'll chuck it on the socials.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Should we watch some Lizzie McGuire?
Let's go watch Lizzie McGuire. We've got our animated selves with us as well.
Okay.
They've been waiting a while. They're giving us the eye. Look at him. Animated Mark's very cross. And animated Fraser's just not even paying attention. Oi, over here. Thank you for listening to Right in the Childhood. We've been overwhelmed by the love and support we've received from our listeners. If you're enjoying the show, you can buy us a coffee via our coffee website. That is coffee.com/Right in the Childhood. KOFI.com/Right in the Childhood. There's no subscriptions or anything like that, so just buy us a coffee if you fancy. We do this for the love, but it's always good to get brought a drink. P.S. Neither of us actually enjoy coffee, we'll probably spend it on a vegan table. Mark, sometimes you make it and sometimes you fake it. But either way, we're frigging it out on the way. We've done Lizzie McGuire! It's been a year in the making. But we've made it.
We have.
We haven't faked it this time.
No.
But yeah, what were your thoughts, feelings on Lizzie McGuire?
It was alright.
Yeah. See, this is why...
Sorry. No, Did you want more than that?
No, this is why I didn't put it on second, because like I said in the preview, I didn't remember that much about the TV series. I remembered bits and pieces. I did remember, which is why I added an episode here. I remember 2 cool cameos that happened on the TV show. One of them we'll talk about, and the other one was Aaron Carter, who sung one of his songs on the show.
Was it Crazy Little Party Girl?
No, it was You and Your Beautiful Soul.
I don't know that one. I know Crazy Little Party Girl.
Go to waste. I don't want anyone to hold. But yeah, so I remember the 2 cameos. Also, Zachary Quinto was randomly in it when I was like, I had to double check that I didn't just make these cameos up. But and then I found like a list of all these different cool cameos. Eddie. So Orlando Brown, who guy plays Eddie in That's So Raven, also cameoed in one of these things, which is pretty cool. There wasn't a That's So Raven connection.
Oh, right, it's a different character.
Yeah, different character before he made it onto there. But there was cool cameos on there, and that's, yeah. So we did 3 episodes, did the pilot, did season 2 episode 1, which is considered the best episode according to IMDb. And then we did Lizzie in the Middle, season 2, episode 15. And if you can guess the cameo from there, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, so the reason I put Lizzie McGuire on the back shelf was because, like you say, it's just one of them where it's all right. It's something I enjoyed. It wasn't one that was like, I didn't have standout memories of it, or I don't remember it being like a show that blew me out the water. And especially because I started with Recess, that was a show that was like,
right.
We both had such a good impression with it. I feel like if this was the follow-up, then it wouldn't have been as impactful. And like, it was nice to revisit this because I did enjoy it. And those moments where I really did laugh, and adorable moments that I'll get into more later on when we discuss the episodes. But yeah, and I also had a feeling that you would just be like, he's just going to be okay with it. We're not really going to get that much of a reaction, and like,
I'm afraid you're right. I was just kind of okay with it. There was plenty to like.
Yeah, that's the thing, and there was nothing.
It didn't make me laugh.
Yeah, there was nothing there that was like a huge trendsetter or anything in a way. I did like some of the messages that were portrayed in it. Like, so the first episode is called Rumours, and it does that whole thing of like, the vicious thing of like how rumours can develop and sort of like how you've got to stand up for yourself. And it was a unique thing because Lizzie's got to stand up to the bully, but Lizzie's in the wrong here, which was a nice way of doing that message, because usually it's just the bully's bullying someone for no reason. But for this, like, Lizzie starts a rumour by sending a message to Miranda that a girl stuffs a bra.
So
and it accidentally gets sent. And then Miranda, who was the friend I forgot about, remembered why I forgot about her as well. She wasn't in the film, and like I say, the film was such a pivotal part of...
Right, so do you think you enjoyed the film more than the show? Was the film something special to you?
I think the film I think I watched it more recently as well. So like me and my sister will always go back to watching this. We also like, my sister will watch it religiously, like a lot.
Still?
On repeat, the A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff in.
Okay.
So that's her thing, but I would always, like, if she was like, do you want to watch the Lizzie McGuire movie? I'm always down to watch the Lizzie McGuire movie. Whereas, like, binging 2 seasons of 30 plus episodes, I'm less so. I did, like, enjoy visiting some certain episodes, and I'll probably visit more of the cameo episodes because they seemed pretty cool.
You like the cameos, though, don't you?
I do, yeah. But yeah, have you got anything? Do you want to start? Should we start with rumours then? So it was a pilot. So you some feelings.
You mentioned that there was an ambiguity of who was in the wrong because Lizzie made a mistake that humiliated someone. I do question what the moral of the story was. So she eventually owns up and she gets horribly, horribly punished for it. And then their group of friends immediately picks on the next victim who, after a whole episode of someone being victimised, they immediately picked up on the next victim. So what's the moral? What's the message? I thought that was a bit...
No, the message is sort of like, so it was Lizzie, A, standing up for herself, but also admitting when she's wrong. But then also, I feel like that last little clip was just to show how, I'm trying to think of it's not fluid, but like how... Fleeting high school is like, you know, what will be an issue now will be gone in like 5 minutes or so.
Oh yeah,
like,
I get that.
The issues you're stressing about now in high school, you're not going to fit. Like, we're not thinking about stuff from high school now, are we?
No.
Unless it's very late at night. You're like, you know, when you get those random thoughts at 3 a.m, it's like, why did I do that certain thing? I do despise
I still vividly remember the kid that bullied me at Scouts and the kid that bullied me at school, and motherfucker added me on Facebook not so long ago. Did not.
Not cool.
No,
not
did
cool.
Not click on that. But they do. I agree that would have been fine if it was, this is the next kid, this is the next drama. But they actively went to go and take the piss out of him, which I didn't like.
So it wasn't really taking the piss. It was just like the kid like picked his nose and ate it, and they just wanted to see what it was, like see what it was about. Yeah. And the thing is, it's not really like they're not going to get bullied for that, are they? I had a mate who shit himself in school, and we didn't bully. He owned it. And we didn't bully him for it. It was just something fun. It became a funny story. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of the stuff in high school, everyone's awkward in high school. Even the coolest of cool person who you think is without any awkwardness is awkward. If you see them as an adult, you go, I can see qualities. Like, I've done like work in schools and I can see as much as someone's cool, you do still see the awkward moments and like...
Yeah, perhaps you're right. Perhaps I'm being a bit too critical.
Everyone's still figuring it out. Like the song says, they're figuring it out.
Yeah, you were really excited about the theme, and I thought it was just a bit meh.
Just because of nostalgia. Again, it's not like the bops that are like Kim Possible or Recess, but I just remembered it, and I was like, oh, it's cool. It's like nice and cheerful. I will say, if we watched the movie, I would have been singing all along because the movie's got some absolute jams in there. Not Space ones, though.
No Space Jams.
No. But yeah, is there anything else on the first episode you want to talk about the pilot? Did you like the animation, the bit emoji, basically?
Yeah, I did. It was a nice little innovation.
Because
it wasn't quite Roger Rabbit because they didn't interact with each other, but it was still kind of imposed on background. Yeah. So yeah, and I thought it was cute.
It was a good gateway into what's Lizzie's actually thinking as well.
Well, you get a lot of sitcoms where people will break the fourth wall and talk to the camera, and this was a nice, cute little innovative way of doing it.
An animated character would do it rather than.
I also liked that the animation improved for series 2 because I thought the animation was a bit ropey on the first episode.
Yeah. Well, the first one was like 2001, second season is like 2002, so it does. It's incredible what like a year of stuff can do, but also like the money they get back. So a lot.
It was noticeably better. The animation.
A lot of Lizzie McGuire's most popular episodes are from season 1, so you can tell that like season 1 it built its fan base, and season 2 they're like, right, now we can step it up a level, and they did, and then some with cameos and improved animation. And you can also see as well, it's crazy, isn't it, how like kid actors can change in a year. Like,
that was going to be my next point. They went from clearly children to young adults from series 1 to series 2, and I think I liked the series 2 episodes a bit more because I wasn't watching what was clearly a children's program anymore. I was watching a young adults program.
They figured it out. They figured what they wanted. I did like the 2 episodes sort of connected in a way that we did in season 2 because they were. The first one was all about like that first love and that feeling of like, you know, getting your first love, because Lizzie McGuire falls for the paper boy or whatever, and then like develops like this relationship, which is, it was cute because it was so quintessentially like high school, like almost exaggerate everything, and or like especially when it's your first, like, you know, getting little notes is so cute and heartwarming, and like you will like, you'll think about them all the time because it's like, because it's something new and like you've not got that cynical mind to it anymore where it's like you've had the heartbreak.
I don't know. When I met a new person, even in my 30s, I definitely got the kind of squishy schoolboy vibes every time. I think it got that right. I do think that a lot of what was done in this episode was great. Again, I didn't laugh, but I didn't hate it. I thought the fact that the boy wasn't super handsome was really nicely done. Yeah. You know how like a lot of American series have like perfect people?
It was your typical like, she's the perfect girl next door and he was literally like the boy next door, like, the neighbourhood boy you'd get. Yeah. And I can also see why I had a giant crush on Lizzie McGuire. Yeah. And I was like, and Hilary Duff, because I was like, okay, it was nice seeing like two little, like love interest things and sort of like, I don't think I watched this at time of release because 2001, 2002 would have been way young. But I remember watching this, I think maybe as I was becoming a tween teenager, and like I would get my early crushes like in the same way Liz would. And seeing that first love episode reminded me of like my first girlfriend, like Katie Dunphy. I'll put it out there. Like
Katie Dunphy.
It was so cute. Yeah, like, like it started in primary school and then it got to like high school and stuff like that. And it was always, I don't know, I've still got like nice nostalgia memories from that and stuff like that. It's just, the cute, like innocent thing. You're not thinking like, I think I said it during the episode, it's nice to see someone not going, do you want to see my dick? Or slide into, or like, just nice, wholesome, like cute little note takings and stuff like that.
I don't really remember being super cute. I remember being a horny kid. Yeah. I remember my first girlfriend, we kissed and then I felt boobs and I don't know, I think maybe it was because my first girlfriend was a little bit later than some people have. You mentioned yours was in primary school. I was in second year 8 when I had my first girlfriend.
Well, I was going to say, like, we started, like, it was in primary school, but then it led on to, like, year 7 and stuff. But it was never, like, a thing of, like, oh, I want to touch boobs or anything. That was, like...
You never touched the boobs?
Year 9. No. We had a kiss, though. It was a really cute kiss. And then typical Manchester, someone tried to steal our bikes.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. But I think the awkwardness of both of them was really, really nice and well done. And fuck me, he made her a mixtape and that just popped me. But I think it was really insightful about young love and new relationships.
Because in the background, they also had Gordo, and this was so cute and
but
it pulled on my heartstrings. So I will point out Gordo is David Gordon, so they took Gordo from his surname. Which is cool because I sort of predicted that when we were talking about, because I was talking about like, it might be Gordon might have been his name was last time. But yeah, so Gordon sort of has always been friends with Lizzie and Miranda and like very close friends with Lizzie. And when he sort of, because you see in the beginning of episodes, everyone's starting to couple up and it happens in high school. At different schools, it happens at different ages. But like you can sort of see it when people start getting in relationships. I remember in year 9, all my mates getting in relationships and me just being like, I mean, maybe I'm still like that now, but more the part. I'm just always going But then Gordo sort of had to reassess how he feels about Lizzie, and it's just cute to see the start of this because obviously I know where it goes with the movie, but seeing him like they do the first kiss and then there's a close up of them two like lips connecting and then when they pull apart you see Gordo who's just shot and I was like my heart, and then
very soap opera style.
It was perfectly well done. And then when the breakup happens, Gordo's there for her.
Yeah, I've been Gordo.
He says the most beautiful things, and again, it's sowing those seeds for what's to come, and I'm just like,
if Gordo gets the girl, then I've never been Gordo.
I'm definitely watching this movie. I'm definitely watching the movie afterwards, because this is just...
There was other really lovely stuff as well, like this stupid ass you hang up, no you hang up. People fucking do that.
That's the thing, and she did all the, the stuff you look back now and think, oh, that's so cringy. But kids do that, like you do the whole, oh, you hang up, no, like who's hanging up? And you do like, you scribble in the notepad or whatever, or you do like your little doodles or just stuff like that, or you fixate on little things like, oh, he gave me his shoelaces, or you'll constantly talk about them and your friends have to be like, oh, here we go.
it was working towards basically abandoning her friends. They were like saying, we don't see you anymore. And that was the thing that hit hard with me. This is aimed at 14-year-olds. And in my last relationship, I did that. And I'm in my 40s. So it was really well done. And I can see why it was the most popular episode they ever did.
And I think it's important to point out as well, you say like how you didn't laugh that much, but the main like category or genre of this is coming of age, then it's comedy.
Right.
So the coming of age stuff was definitely there for me. I did, obviously, like, I enjoyed the comedy because, like, I don't know, it's just my mindset, really. I really enjoyed the animated Lizzie, because some of her bits were just like, again, it was emphasising how she was feeling.
Yeah, fourth wall stuff. It was good.
It was cute. I do have to say as well, before I forget that they did outtakes, and I forgot how much I loved them. So the Matt character, I think he's played by Brad Thomas. Like,
is that the brother?
Yeah. I remember him just being like he's just a little brother that's always like, you know, getting up to mischief. We've seen it with Megan in Drake and Josh, but I just remember him just always like there. And there was always that love between Lizzie and Matt. But there was also that sort of like sibling rivalry, which we've seen in the episodes.
Yeah, you've seen it in Hannah Montana. Yeah. You've seen it in That's So Raven as well.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
And this show predates them too, of course, and Drake and Josh. But I just remember his outtakes always being the funniest, like just the little bits and like just the family vibes in general. I always enjoyed the mum and dad. I thought they were good, strong, you know, parents to see, because even when they didn't agree, you know, they had to work together to sort of help Lizzie or help Matt, and it was cute to see. And the outtakes, brilliant. And I think this show probably started my love for outtakes, because there will be times where if I've binged a series, I'll go onto YouTube and watch the outtakes for a good, sometimes hour, sometimes 2 hours, just because I love that. And I think that's what got me into like wanting to be an actor as well, because like I want to mess around and do outtakes. They look like so much fun.
I love that you've got something that started your love of outtakes, because I do too, funnily enough.
Yeah, they're really cool, aren't they?
Yeah, it was Red Dwarf. They were the first, or at least the first big video release that I know of nothing but outtakes. They called them the Smeg Ups, and it was a VHS release by the BBC that had never been on telly.
That's cool.
And they released 2, the Smeg Ups and the Smeg Outs, and they were just great fun. And so, yeah, there was definitely
Smeg Up
things that got me into Smeg Ups as well.
I definitely,
And I still to this day call them Smeg Ups rather than outtakes.
I do love a good outtake. It's it's so good. Have you got anything else you want to say on season 2, episode 1?
Do. There was a drugs comparison, which I wasn't ready for.
Love that. I love that.
I wasn't ready for it.
I love that. So it's like, this is your brain on Ronnie. And I was like, wow, love that reference.
Yeah, it was...
There was a reference.
Came out of nowhere.
There was a reference as well in the season 2, episode 15 one, that was like a disturbance in the Force, and I was like, Star Wars, love it.
One thing I wanted to mention about the outtakes before we move on.
Of course.
I loved that they did a fake animated outtake on each episode as well. That was clever. That was really clever.
It was cool because it reminded me of, did you ever see the Toy Story outtakes? I
yes.
think they mainly did, so I was like, again, love that. And I think that's where my love for outtakes came from as well. But yeah, that was funny. Every time she would do a different one, wouldn't she?
Yeah, it was clever. I thought that was a cute little touch. Cute. And I think that was before Toy Story as well, wasn't it?
No, Toy Story was 1995 and 1997.
Oh, okay. So it was probably inspired by Toy Story then.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Are we going to cameo time?
We can go to cameo time. You made me watch a third episode that I wasn't sure I wanted to watch.
Which was Lizzie in the Middle, that featured Malcolm in the Middle star, Frankie Muniz. So the reason this came to my head was when I was watching it, I got Malcolm in the Middle vibes. And I think especially it was like earlier this year, we were all watching WandaVision, or if we weren't, what were you doing?
Yeah.
And like there was the Malcolm in the Middle sort of inspired episode, and I was like, oh, this reminds me of like Lizzie McGuire, WandaVision, like all that sort of Malcolm in the Middle. And then I remembered that Hilary Duff and Frankie Muniz did a film together called Cadet Kelly, and they dated for a bit. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I remember them two being iconic. And I just remember Frankie Muniz being like really charming, and I was like, I swear they did an episode together. So I did a bit of a Google, and then I found out about the cameos with Frankie Muniz, Aaron Carter, and Zachary Quinto. And I
wouldn't call that a cameo. That was a
full,
guest role, a guest
full
spot.
Episode, yeah. But yeah, and he plays himself as well, which is really cute. The whole thing's like, and it's cool as well because the whole episode's theme is about child celebrities and like all these Disney stars have to deal with it. And it's, they talk about the loneliness as well, like because
was
Lizzie.
Malcolm in the Middle Disney?
No, it was.
Oh, okay, so they just got. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think there was a good like friendship there, obviously between it. It might be Disney now. Who knows? Disney.
If it was Disney, it'd be on Disney Plus definitely because I think it's a big nostalgia thing and big people would watch it. Yeah.
It might be on Star. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? But yeah, really enjoyed seeing Frankie and sort of. I feel like Frankie and Hilary Duff had a good chemistry as well. And I think obviously it paid off in their movie that they did, and then their relationship for 2 years, and they're still friends now.
That's nice. I think what you're touching on about the kid stars having to deal with unpleasantness that they wouldn't have to deal with if they were just, your average kid, was an interesting story. But the thing that got me was they didn't shy away from the paparazzi.
Being the worst.
Being completely terrible people who violated these children.
Yeah.
They had the paparazzi going. I know it was played for laughs, but they had the paparazzi going through her bedroom, looking at her childhood toys.
It's not even an exaggeration as well. Like you could, if you watch this, go, oh, this got to be exaggerated. You literally hear stories of celebrities that have gone like, this guy would follow me for 2 hours, or like they would follow my family. And
well, that whole storyline part started with the guy going through the bins, and we know damn well that the press go through people's bins. And I thought that was really quite heavy and dark and real. And it was impressive.
It was good as well because there's a lot of, I think as well, it's good that this was on a Disney show because there's a lot of kids, I was one of them who watched Disney and you go, I want to be a Disney star. But then it also sort of showed the harsh realities of it. And like one of the most top rated Google things has to be, if kids as well of a certain age, has to be how to work for Disney or how to how to act for Disney or how to, or some parents do it, so how can I make my child a child star? But it was good that this showed, that there's a harsh ring to it, and it was nice seeing Frankie Muniz. There's a very I think I was telling you about it. There's a very cool thing why Frankie Muniz is in my brain a lot recently is I watched Harley Quinn, and there's a bit where they go into Harley Quinn's brain, the animated series.
Yeah.
And there's all these little evil Harley Quinns, like children's ones or whatever. And the only thing that keeps him sane is Frankie Muniz, who's just trapped in Harley's mind. And Clayface turns into Frankie Muniz to distract all the Harley demons. And he goes, this is I, child actor, Frankie Muniz. And it just...
So that's the reason why we watch this?
A bit, yeah.
Okay.
But you can also see the quirky charm that Frankie Muniz has got in this. And
yeah, he does. I mean...
adorable.
Yes, and the kid brothers' acting skills were questionable. The rest of the cast were good.
I think it's one
and Frankie Muniz shone more than anybody else on the main cast, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's the thing, innit? He led his own show, which was not just a kid show; it was a family show. Like I think as well, he got the chance to work with older actors on Malcolm in the Middle, which probably helped, especially Bryan Cranston. You're working with, you're going to get a good thing. And I think sometimes with the Disney shows, you have less interactions with the adult actors, and I think sometimes if you have more of that, it does help. And I think it just showed with Frankie Muniz there. But yeah, great chemistry with Hilary Duff there.
Yeah. I want to talk about the sets. They very much reminded me of kind of, the school at least, reminded me of Saved by the Bell and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that kind of classic looking American high school. And obviously I've never been into an American high school. When I went to America, I don't think it would have been appropriate.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's a realistic depiction.
I've walked past the American high school. I've also been on a set that had a high school set up. And yeah, they're both pretty.
Boy Meets World had a similar thing. Yeah. And I don't want to go into an American high school, but I want to know if this is accurate.
You can go in without going into a school. Right. And interesting facts, so the school they used for High School Musical was an actual high school.
Huh.
And that's why High School Musical, the TV series, is about that high school doing the High School Musical. And it's like, you're telling me the school, because the teacher comes in, you're telling me, she goes, the school the musical is based on hasn't done High School Musical the musical. No, just High School that hasn't done the musical.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's like, but you can visit it. It's in Salt Lake, I want to say.
Okay.
But yeah, like you can walk past. It's like I've just seen it like through windows and stuff like that. And obviously, my mates in America live near schools, and yeah, it's very well representative. Huge as well, and massive. We got great playing fields. If you want to play like American football or anything like that, it's just so cool. And it just feels like it's just like the movies or the TV show.
I guess they must be relatively accurate representations. Tell you what, this felt so kind of 90s, thousands. I know it was like 2001.
Thousands, yeah. I
think
we're getting
MSN, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
MSN, dates it. No mobile phones, actually. No flip phones.
Well, I said group chat, didn't I? And I was like, oh no, I just remember them doing calls. But then they actually had a group chat, and I was like, oh, nice, cool. I didn't misremember. And
yeah, it was MSN, or at least it was
typing on a computer, yeah.
Non-copyright MSN.
There was that thing as well that Gordo said, like, they made a thing of like, oh, the message only got sent to people with computers. And I was like, oh yeah, there'd be people at school that won't. And then Gordo was like, oh, it's 86%. And I was like, oh, okay.
Not sure that was accurate for 2001.
Do you reckon? Did people not have computers?
I went to university in 97 to 2000 and I used a electronic word processor. It was only when I was earning that I could afford. Right. Around 2001, actually, my first computer.
This is middle class America, though, isn't it?
True.
Is what we're assuming.
True.
So, my question that sort of spins off this episode for you is: Would you date a celebrity? What would you're sort of thinking? Because Lizzie at first says no to Frankie, which I was like, Lizzie, what are you doing? Why are you blanking on Frankie Muniz? He's cute, like. And he turns all awkward. I'm like, oh, please, this is heartbreaking. But it raises a good point. Like, it would be difficult. Would you be willing to go through all that to date a celebrity? I wouldn't
date a celebrity because they were a celebrity or for the money.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, if you got the feeling, like, because that's a good thing this episode shows is they do have like Lizzie and Frankie have, and I did mean Lizzie then as in the characters. The characters of the two have good chemistry as well. Like, they're really cute couple, you know. He gets on with the family, gets on with their friends, they have a nice time. And the only thing that ends a relationship is that celebrity sort of intrusion.
I think if you
had that kind of relationship, would you?
Yeah, I think if it was the right person, I would. And I also think that the press are a little bit less powerful than they used to be. I don't think they have.
No, they'd still stalk you like this.
Really?
Yeah, the press are the worst. Trust me, I did journalism for a year, and every time I see him, I'm like, oh, why did I don't want to be associated with that? I want to be associated with good journalism, which hopefully, you know, will come up with works, but, you know, it's been years. This was made in 2000 and it's still relevant now. Look at the Meghan Markle stuff.
Yeah, the Meghan Markle stuff is horrific.
Yeah.
Good point, well made.
Press is still awful, especially in the UK. I think
you've got to give it a go. You only get one life, and if you miss an opportunity and you regret it, there's no backsies. So I'd certainly give it a go. I don't think it would put me off, but I guess there'd be that fear in the back of your mind that, you know, you'd have to go through that unpleasantness for this person. I guess if I like them enough, of course, yeah, but you'd need to really like them. Do you think the same?
Some people are worth melting for. Sorry, that was an Olaf, but some people are worth getting mobbed for. No, I think so. And I think it would even probably go to like, even friendship in a way. Like, if I developed a strong friendship or like any kind of relationship with someone, like, I'd be willing to, you know, take that on. And it's like, I guess it's that thing of like, you know, everyone comes with sort of baggage, and it's definitely a unique kind of baggage having people hoard all around you. But yeah, no, definitely, for sure. So if any celebrities want to send a message, you know, I'm all ears, as long as you like Disney and, you know, a few other things.
Is it top 5 time?
I think it's top 5 time. Do you want to remind the lovely audience of your current top 5?
Indeed.
And where Lizzie McGuire fits on that, if it does.
At 5, it's That's So Raven. At 4, American Dragon Jake Long. At 3, Lilo and Stitch. At 2, SpongeBob SquarePants. And at number 1, Recess. And I didn't hate this.
No, it's very middling, wasn't it, for you, I imagine? Like,
it was there.
Lizzie in the middle. Yeah, I like the episode.
I have no intention of watching any more, but I didn't actively dislike it. So it doesn't make the top 5, but I didn't think it was awful.
No. It's not top 5. It's not bottom 5.
No.
In the middle.
Yeah. With Malcolm.
Yeah. Lizzie in the middle. Lizzie and Malcolm in the middle. I feel like if we do Malcolm in the middle, we are going to at some point. I think Malcolm in the middle won't be in the middle. Or it might be in the middle of your top 5, maybe at number 3.
Never watched it. I know what it is. I know the concepts.
I've seen it in German. That is horrifying.
That's good, yeah.
They have arguments as it is, and the mum's quite loud. Hearing the mum scream in German is a whole nother level of terrifying.
Amazing. Would you like to know what we're doing next, Fraser?
I would love to know.
So, next month, it's October.
The spooky season.
Do you know what happens in October?
Tax season.
No, it's Halloween.
Ooh.
So I thought I'd pick something spooky.
Oh, nice. Casper.
No, not
Is that
Casper.
from your generation? I feel like it got repeated.
There were repeats of the kind of 70s stuff, but I don't know whether there was much made in the 80s. I'm not sure.
I remember there was a Casper movie in my childhood.
Yeah.
But not Casper.
But no, Casper was never really something I was particularly into.
I love Casper.
I remember something from when I was a kid that was just so fucking scary.
This isn't going to be another Chimera.
No.
Thank goodness.
Full disclosure, I have watched this relatively recently in the last 10 years.
Right.
And it's still pretty cool.
And it's not cack.
It's not cack.
It's actually horror.
So we are going to be watching Ghost Watch.
Cool.
Have you heard of Ghost Watch?
No.
Good.
It sounds like a video game.
I genuinely thought that you might have done, as someone who studied journalism and film and TV. Ghost Watch is quite infamous, so I actually thought you might have heard of it, but I'm glad you haven't, because I want you to go into it with an open mind.
Maybe if I studied... our uni did. They did genre, so you could pick any genre in the world, and they picked horror. I'm like, why?
Love horror.
Why?
I know you don't like horror.
No, but it's so... it's just so... I don't know, it's just too... There's so many better genres to pick. So many genres that have more flexibility than horror. It's like, we scare our audience. Great.
Whatever. I love horror.
Looking forward to it then.
I am.
Ooh, spooky spooks. No Casper.
Do the sign off, Fraser.
Signing off.
Really? That's how you're signing off?
Signing off. The Right in the Childhood podcast is Fraser and Mark.
Fuck's sake. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
And our animated characters as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
See you next time for Ghost Watch.
Ooh. Right in the Childhood is a podcast brought to you by the We Made This Podcast Network. You can follow the show on Twitter at RITCpod. The show's creators and hosts are Fraser Summers and Mark Adams. Follow us on Instagram at SpiderPanInsta and at MarkAdamsHC. The show's logo was created by Carl Bryant, and the theme tune was composed by Colin Jackson Brown. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the hit.
Hello everyone, this is Tony, Network Chief of We Made This. As you know, our podcast network brings together a brilliant assortment of talent who talk about all kinds of pop culture content, such as the episode you just listened to. We're not going anywhere, but we'd love to keep the lights on for even longer if you're able to support our network on Patreon. For just £2 a month, you get your name in lights and the satisfaction of knowing you're helping us produce more great audio. And for £3 a month, you'll get your name in lights, but you'll also get access to an exclusive bi-monthly podcast from the We Made This talent pool on podcasting, pop culture, and, well, you tell us. We'll take your suggestions. For less than the price of a coffee per month, you can help keep We Made This going. Just head to patreon.com/We Made This. That's patreon.com/We Made This. And get the ball rolling.
Elsewhere on We Made This.
Observing the Pattern, a Fringe podcast.
Maybe people weren't quite ready for it. Maybe they wanted a bit more of what the X-Files was, which was a much more of a kind of months of the week, scare you, or this kind of myth arc, which had its emotion and certainly had its strong themes of family as well. But I think Fringe had it much more to the fore, much more kind of focused through line for it.
And Luke, that's a really good observation in terms of, why it didn't catch on as much, because I do remember these conversations when it was airing live. And I want to say it was season 3, 4, and 5, where the fans really took to Twitter and was we're like, please renew this show.
Chucky Vision.
I think it's the most graphic of the lot of them.
I think it's the context that was just surreal. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would react as a censor to this, because we see, as we keep saying, we see Chucky jack off, but we don't just see his reactions. There is literally a close-up shot of him grabbing his dick.
Yeah, and there's a fucking turkey baster dripping with jizz.
Oh my god!
The actual fuck is this a 15?
Well, I think if you make something cartoonish enough, then you will get away with it.
and it does feel like they got away with it.
Rarely Going, an animated Star Trek podcast.
To me, the one thing that keeps coming up in these episodes is Boimler is actually a really good leader. And he's got, he actually earned his place on the Titan. It was kind of made of a joke. His transporter clone ended up getting to stay on the Titan, and he got sent back to the Cerritos and even got demoted when he did that. But, time and again in each episode this season, Boimler has proven that he has what it takes to be a good leader. He has what it takes to be a command officer. I think that...
Absolutely. Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.